What are some signs that a process needs reworking? So in my experience, and part of the diligence we do when we go into a small business to look at, what is your human capital? And human capital is that it's diminishing, it's growing in value. Your human capital is exactly that. What is the value of not the people you have, but the value of their experience, their capacity, their backgrounds, their training, all these different elements. Think about it as like your investment portfolio. You have stocks, you have bonds, you have high risk, you have low risk. All of these things kind of factor in together. So when we look at a process that needs reworking, we obviously look at it from a human capital perspective. So we want to look at the individual who's in charge of that process and what is their knowledge? Where are they going? Do they have any capacity to build it? So in keeping kind of with the theme of today, if we look at operations, as companies need to grow and scale, lean management is a useful tool to do that. And that's one of the things we'll look at. What efficiencies have you put in place in the operation to improve quality, to improve on-time delivery, to lower labor costs, to make a safer environment for people? And we listen for the answers. And if people just say, hey, we just do what we do, this is how we've always done it, there's probably need for process improvement around that. You're going to want to look at it. And I've said this before, any operational leader you talk to, if they've been trained in a large environment, the things you want to listen for are safety first. We want all of our people to go home with the same number of fingers and toes that they came to work with. Quality second, everything else third. Those are things a well-trained operation person will say. I think I shared this story before, but I had a client and we put a director of operations in there, and I followed up with them and said, how's this person doing? And they said, they're doing pretty well. I don't think they're working on the right things, but I think they're doing okay. And so I said, well, let me go have a chat with them. So I went out into the operation and chatted with them and said, how's it going? And they said, yeah, let me show you around some of the things I've been working on. And all of them were safety. Every single thing they were working on was safety, and ergonomic safety for, they had some very skilled workers and very few of them. So if one of them was out sick or injured, that would hurt their productivity. And they recognized this and they said, I've improved the process here because can't afford to have one of these people hurt their back and be able to work. Rearrange things to make sure the traffic flows were there, because we run forklifts. And if the traffic flows aren't clearly mapped and we don't have the proper forklift procedures in place, people get hurt. And forklift accidents are not, they're usually pretty major. And so I went back to my owner and said, nope, they're working on exactly the right things. And now that individual, fast forward a couple years down the road, and the business is humming and they're super pleased. But those are the things. You can't go fast until you have all the wheels put on the automobile correctly. And that's what a good operational person will do for you. So when you need a process that's reworking, the biggest symptom I would look for is if the only input you have is time. If you say, look, all we got to do is work harder, have more people working more to scale, that process is probably broken, or not broken, but maxed out. It's a $5 million, you're running a $10 million business on a $5 million a year process. And so if the only input is just work harder, do more, and this should work, there's probably some constraints that exist in the process, whatever it could be, that need to be addressed or removed, or we just need to rework the entire process. What's our next one, Matt? We got time for one more. How can I identify an expert during the hiring process? All right. So we just talked to James, and he came from steel into food production. And that was something that, Edgar and I had talked about. Does this person have to have industry experience? we looked at the market, we looked at where we were, and all factors considered, we thought, no, they don't. If they understand how to get something, anything from the other side of the world to where we are today, they probably can do it with coconut. And so that was the one thing we looked at, right? Sometimes people are so dialed into they have to have our industry experience, and sometimes they don't. If you have enough industry experience in the building, and I can tell you at Marx Brothers, there is no business on this planet that knows more about coconut origin, where it comes from, how to get it here, how to manufacture and produce it, than the team at Marx Brothers. They are the most knowledgeable people in North America, at least, on coconut. So do we need people who know coconut? We don't. We have the internal knowledge. The knowledge we had to target was supply chain. Who is an expert at supply chain? We can teach them the food side of the business. And oftentimes I see this with, you can look at sales. We're in a niche role, and we need a director of sales to put KPIs in place, hold people accountable, and build out a strategy, but they have to have industry experience. Well, do they? If all of your salespeople have been in your industry and have all the contacts, or 80, 90% of the contacts that you need, how important is it that that individual come from your industry? Now, it might want to come from a sister industry or an industry that is related or connects in one way or another. If you were in food, selling food production to grocery stores, you wouldn't want someone who does channel sales, nuts and bolts. That might not work. But we need to look at that industry experience. And then for me, it's history. If someone has a progression of success and being promoted and is a subject matter expert, and over time has spent time with the company and been promoted and moved to a new company and been promoted and is really fine-tuning and honing that expertise, that to me is more valuable than almost anything. A lot of companies are really big on assessments and things like that, and assessments have a place. But if I look at someone with 10 years of success and experience and success, and an assessment that it maybe is counterintuitive to that, I will always default to success, because 10 years of accumulated success is hard to do. Taking a 10, 15, 30-minute assessment, whether you're having a good day, a bad day, if you get interrupted, are you in a good mood, are you in a bad mood? All of those factors contribute to this assessment. And you could have a bad 15 minutes, but if you show me you've had a great 10 years, I will value those great 10 years over almost everything else. If I can, trust, trust but verify. People are always going to tell you that they've had success, but by vetting them out, going through the process and creating the right process, which we've talked about before, which reminds me, Matt, we'll remind people about our ebook on the process. If you have the right process, same people asking the same questions, you're doing all the right things, you're going to flush this information out. And so you want to trust people are telling you the truth, but you also want to verify that. And you can do that by the right interview, and just, spending time with the individual and asking the right questions. I think I answered that question, Matt. So I think we're wrapped up here. So we got some things we want to tell anyone who's watching about. What's the first one we want to talk about here, Matt? Download the ebook. So if you go to our website, we have a couple free tools. We've just added another one, and it's Make Your Interviewing Rock. You can sign up for that if you just go to KeyHire.solutions, no .com, .solutions, and there you go. And you'll see the ebook. It's a comprehensive step-by-step guide to building out your own acquisition and hiring process It's the one KeyHire has developed and we use, and we have a better than 90% success rate in our hiring. The people we put in businesses generally just are rock stars. And so we're going to teach you how to do that. And if you're not a big reader, we're also going to shoot you a video of a presentation I did on Make Your Interviewing Rock. The next thing is you can sign up to our YouTube channel. This is where we drop all of our information. If you go to YouTube and type in KeyHire Solutions, you're going to find our page, and anything we record or any information we have goes up on that channel. And the final one is our LinkedIn page. So the KeyHire Solutions LinkedIn page, great place to go and get updates and information, and again, any other information that we're publishing and putting it out there. Our goal is to help small business owners. Our target clients are $5 million to $15, $20 million a year business owners. Business owners who are in that pinch where I want to scale, but everything I'm doing, it's hard, it's not working, it's one step forward, two steps back. I'm trying to do everyone's job because my great people aren't as great as they used to be. I can't find the right people. That's where we come in. So whether you need us to help you backfill a role, upgrade a role, develop a new role in your company, those are our areas of expertise. And then we can also help you do a full-scale human capital growth plan, current state, future state, put an action plan together, and then help you action that plan and get where you want to go. We also do have, if you have any questions for us, you can sign up on the website. We have a free consultation, 30 minutes. No weirdness, no sales, just us talking with you, giving you some ideas, talking you through some problems. And after that, if you like what we have to say, we can always talk further, but we're a help first. Our philosophy is help first. So thank you very much for your time today. We're right on track here. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be back at this again. So until next time, Corey Harlock saying, stop grinding and start growing.